Did you guys know that Merrick Garland was once up for Supreme Court Justice appointment? I don't know how. I know Republicans blocked it just because it wasn't that long ago. I think it was under Obama, maybe. I'm really glad he did not get it, because he may be the most corrupt DOJ official in the history of this country.
Was widely recognized not only as one of America's sharpest legal minds, but someone who brings to his work a spirit of decency, modesty, integrity, even-handedness, and excellence. Outgoing calls, that's true. I know there was no testimony as to where they were. There was no testimony about that either.
Fidelity to the Constitution and the law has been the cornerstone of my professional life.
And that's saying a lot, because we've had quite a few recently. But him being on the Supreme Court would have been really, really bad, because he essentially does whatever he's told to do. So they got more information now about Hunter Biden. Millions and millions of dollars taken by Hunter Biden and the Biden family. Millions of dollars taken from the Chinese government. And a specific company, I can't remember the name of the company, CCFE? I don't know the exact company name, but there are no independent companies in China. They're all state-run. So if you accept money from a private company in China, you're accepting money from the Chinese government. So there's now proof, 100% proof, that Joe Biden not only knew about it, but he met with these Chinese officials, with his son and his son's business partners, Zelenskyy, Gillier. He's met with these people and accepted millions of dollars while Joe Biden was the VP. It's not even an accusation anymore. Now there's proof. What does Merrick Garland do? He starts investigating Trump.
We have learned the identity of another very important cooperating witness with the Justice Department criminal investigation of Donald Trump, and a potential group of co-conspirators that includes, most prominently, Trump White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and attorney Rudy Giuliani, who is no longer legally licensed to practice law. Here is the witness who we learned today is cooperating with the Justice Department criminal investigation of Donald Trump.
Did Rudy Giuliani ever suggest that he was interested in receiving a presidential pardon related to January 6th?
He did.
Ms. Hutchinson, did White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows ever indicate that he was interested in receiving a presidential pardon related to January 6th?
Mr. Meadows did seek that pardon. Yes, ma'am.
She is going to be a very helpful witness to federal prosecutors investigating Donald Trump. ABC News was the first to report today that Cassidy Hutchinson, a former top advisor to then President Donald Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, has recently cooperated with the Department of Justice investigation into the events of January 6th. According to sources familiar with the matter, the Justice Department reached out to her following her testimony a month ago before the House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol attack, the sources said. Not one word of Cassidy Hutchinson's now public under oath testimony to the committee has been challenged by any other witness to the same events.
A source close to the Secret Service tells me that President Trump was apparently not happy with that answer, but the agents in the car would push back against any allegation of an assault by President Trump and the allegation that he reached for the steering wheel.
It's incredible what these people are doing, and right out in the open. Right out in the open. It's a 100% fact that Biden and his family, including his son, got money from the Chinese government while he was in office. It's not even debatable anymore. And what do? We got to look into that story about Trump. We got to see how it is that Trump got away with choking a Secret Service agent. We have some stuff to get to the bottom of. Oh, okay. So the President of the United States being compromised? It's neither here nor there. Some lady lies about a story about Trump. The people involved in the story say, yeah, that's a lie. We'll testify. Our government says, no need to testify. We're going to investigate him now. This is what's happening right now. They're trying another investigation on a man that they've been investigating for 4 years. We're almost at 6 years now. That's the decision-making process of our DOJ. There's a 80-something-year-old woman right now in prison for trespassing during the fake insurrection. That's what she's in there for. And I think she's, I want to say she's doing a year or two. Stephen Colbert's people broke into the Capitol, illegally stayed overnight, weren't invited, filmed all through the night, and no charges. No charges. We don't want to try triumph. So we're not going to charge them. It's overt, right out in your face corruption. That's what they're doing. And nobody's saying anything about it. Well, yeah. There was, I think, 8 or 9 of them. But they're just joking. They're not trying to overthrow the government with flagpoles. They broke into a federal building, stayed overnight, filming. No permits, nothing. That's okay. That's okay. 80-year-old woman who went into the Capitol, lock her up, throw away the key. May she die in there. That's what our Justice Department is doing right now. That's their focus. That's what they think is what the people want, what the people need. We're not talking about inflation. We're not talking about a recession. What is a recession? We just changed the definition of that. We don't know what that is. There's no way to know what a recession is. We can't define it. We're not going to talk about that. Biden just authorized another $1 billion, or I think it was $1.7 billion to go to Ukraine.
The U.S. announcing a major new infusion of cash to Ukraine, $1.7 billion, and it comes amid these warnings that Iran is about to offer significant help to Russia in fighting the Ukrainians. Our foreign correspondent James Longman reporting in from Ukraine tonight.
A huge new tranche of aid is being provided by the US, David. $1.7 billion to help maintain Ukraine's essential services like healthcare. And just as President Biden prepares for his trip to the Middle East, Vladimir Putin is heading to Tehran next week for talks with both the Iranian and Turkish leaders. Now, the talks will be focused on Syria, but Ukraine will be front and center, especially now that the United States has said that Tehran is planning on sending hundreds of combat drones to Moscow for help in its war here in Ukraine. As foreign help for both sides builds, it's clear just how global the consequences of this war have become.
With this Vladimir Zelenskyy, what's his name? I don't know who he is. We don't know who he is. When he was asked, hey, what do you think people, American people, how do you think they feel about their tax dollars? Billions and billions and billions of dollars going to your country. How do you think that they feel about that? He doesn't care. He said, inflation, who cares about inflation? We're over here fighting a war, as he takes pictures for Vogue magazine. He's meeting celebrities. This guy's becoming famous for fighting a war as he's taking pictures and he's doing award shows. He's just becoming famous.
That the Ukrainian president has been praised as a master of social media, really knowing how to keep Ukraine in the headlines. For example, this is one of the many social media campaigns that he has spearheaded that has gone viral. But his latest appearance in Vogue has had mixed reactions. So this famous photographer, Annie Leibovitz, snapped shots like this one of Zelenskyy and the First Lady. And for example, this one, which has caused quite a bit of controversy, with Twitter users commenting that these photos are distasteful and even casting doubt on the severity of the war in Ukraine, just like this user is doing in this tweet. And this Republican congresswoman has even accused President Zelenskyy of scamming the U.S. into sending foreign financial aid. So we spoke to Anjana Suzarla, who has studied Zelenskyy's PR strategy, and she told us that it is quite different from his initial and more authentic social media presence.
The contrast between I am one of you versus suddenly I'm also, I have time to do all these glamorous things. And I can see why that would be upsetting to people, because it's suddenly the contrast is too jarring.
And we don't know how he's spending the money, and we don't know what he's doing with our weapons. But he's a hero. You know how I know? Look at Vogue magazine. Him and his wife are posing on it right now. Do you think that's okay? We're making this guy a hero while our country's dollar, the value of our dollar is reduced. And this guy is a hero. For doing what exactly? He's staying and he's fighting. I've never seen people during the time of war have time to do all these photo shoots and award shows and speeches. Doesn't seem like he's in very much danger at the moment.
While Ukraine gets ravaged by war, bodies pile up and missiles rain over the nation. President Vladimir Zelenskyy and First Lady Olena Zelenskyy have appeared in a magazine with wartime-themed pictures. The photo shoot has sparked global outrage, calling the feature tone deaf, insensitive and opportunistic.
The Zelenskys are in vogue. Ukraine's First Lady Olena has been called the portrait of bravery by the magazine on its October cover. The fashion magazine also features Olena Zelenska posing with her husband, the President of Ukraine. Captured by world-renowned portrait photographer Annie Leibovitz, Olena is seen posing along with the wreckage of world's largest cargo plane with soldiers as props. The Antonov AN-225 Mriya was destroyed in the early days of the war by Russian airstrikes on the Hostomel airport. In another image, the Ukrainian First Lady is sitting on the steps of a subway, clad head to toe in designer wear, with not a hair out of place. While the Vogue feature talks about how Olena Zelenska had found herself center stage in a tragedy and the impact of the war so far, they come at a time when Ukraine has been fighting against Russia for nearly 154 days and counting. Airstrikes are still being reported from Odessa and Mykolaiv, and according to UN estimates, there have been over 12,000 casualties. The retouched, perfectly staged photographs with the president of the war-torn nation posing and preening has triggered massive backlash. From being termed a bad idea to a PR stunt, Zelenskyy is being banned for posing for a photo shoot instead of working towards a solution to the war. Some have even termed the Ukrainian president a fraud, while others have called the Vogue feature tone-deaf and elitist.
How did Ben Stiller get into a war zone to shake Zelensky's hand? What are we doing over there?
Hello, nice to meet you.
Really nice to meet you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for taking the time.
Great honor for me.
No.
We know you very well.
It's a great honor for me, and nice to see you. It's really wonderful. You're my hero. You're amazing. Yes. No.
How is Ben Stiller in the middle of the Ukraine war shaking the hand of Vladimir Zelenskyy? How dangerous is it really? Because it seems like the now $50 billion could be used for other things. And I don't think photo shoots are one of them. Are we paying for that? How do we know? What are we paying for? And he dismissed our inflation as he's taking in our money. The more and more this war goes on, the more clear my mind is on the fact that we shouldn't be there. And the amount of money wasted, because that's what this is. We're wasting American tax dollars. This has nothing to do with us. It's just astronomical. We're just wasting money. And we can be using it all. This is Build Back Better? Is that what this is? That's what I'm getting out of this.